Well, hello there. Oh god, my hair. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Moments with Mills. I wanted to start a video today, or make a video, if I should say, about kind of, you know, loving your loving your solitude. You know, just being on your own, maneuvering on your own, doing your own thing, and not allowing that to make you feel as though like loneliness, because it's not at all. I think it's very important that, you know, people have time to themselves and have periods of time to themselves as well, where they learn about themselves, they grow independently, they, learn new skills and do things on their own. Because I think sometimes in life, people, and I know I've done this before, people can sometimes become quite dependent on other people, and you know, you can miss this well on your own. There's nothing wrong, obviously, with having friendships and having, you know, people in your corner. Is actually really good, because as human beings, we're very sociable beings. We're naturally sociable people, like, you know, so there's nothing wrong with seeking or wanting to have, I guess, you know, be around people and that kind of stuff. But I think there's a difference between, you know, wanting to be around your friends and hanging out, or whatever the case is, and not being comfortable enough to spend time with yourself. I know people who really struggle, actually, to be by themselves, because maybe, well, sometimes they've said that, like, you know, that they're scared of their own thoughts, or like, you know, there's only so much time that they can spend with themselves or whatever. And I'm kind of like 50-50. It's like my friends who know me really well actually know how much I value, or how much, like, it takes for the right people. I'll come out, that's not a problem. But I think it can sometimes take a lot to kind of get me. I'm very much a home bird. I find a lot of comfort in my own space, my own personal space, you know, and having that time to yourself to think and to ask questions that ordinarily, if you were out and about and you were busy and you're doing this and you were that, and like back and forth doing, like, you know, always on your feet, and not having that time to just sit and chill. Having that time to yourself when you're on your own is so vital, because then you can ask yourself those questions, and it's almost like the things that you should be thinking about or might have missed on a day-to-day basis, because you were always out doing something, or whatever the case might be, can catch up on you, especially with people who aren't perhaps maybe so in tune with their emotions as well. If you think about it, it makes sense, because if you're out all the time and you're almost avoiding kind of being by yourself, once you have that time to yourself, everything that you've been avoiding, everything that you've been running away from, can kind of flood you and overwhelm you and come all at once. So that's why I think it's so important to kind of, you know, embrace solitude, embrace being on your own, enjoy, get to know yourself, get to be your own friend first. Like, it doesn't make sense to go out and, you know, befriend all these, like, everyone, and not be friends with yourself, and not be comfortable with yourself first. Having said that, like, for me, like, I wouldn't sit here and say, like, you know, I can get it, like, some people who maybe they've been through kind of traumatic experiences, or have personal reasons why they might find it quite difficult to be on their own. I think there's strength in that, though, because once you're with yourself, and once you know full well that, like, you know, you don't depend on anyone, and you can kind of, you know, go through life and experience life on your own. If something happened, in the worst case scenario, just say in an imagined situation, and there was no one else in the world, and you would just hear by yourself, like, you would know that you'd be okay. Like, it's not the ideal situation, but at the end of the day, you know that, you know, I can be here by myself. I can survive on my own. I don't need anyone. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with needing someone or wanting someone, but I think it's just the level of it. Like, you don't want it to become like you don't want to become dependent on someone. So yeah, just learn to sit with yourself. Yeah, because you can learn so much. You really can. You can learn so much about the way you think when you really are just with yourself and you're just sat with yourself. You can learn so much about yourself, and kind of, you know, things that you like, things that you don't like, things that you avoid, things that you don't avoid, things that tend to come into your mind quite often. So things that are kind of recurring thoughts. You can kind of like highlight your areas of strengths, and but like things that, you know, you might want to work on, or you know that is something that you need to work on. So it's so important, and no one else can do that for you, you know. Yeah, if you don't have a lot of insight, and maybe perhaps people who know you quite well can tell you that, hey, you know, you're doing X, Y, and Z maybe, or maybe you might want to look at X, Y, and Z, or like, I've noticed X, Y, and Z in you. Like, you can't always rely on that. You really should do that for yourself. So there's 4 types of self. So there's your open self, which is basically kind of information that both you and other people know, okay, about yourself. And then you have kind of like your hidden self. So that is basically the information that you know about yourself that other people don't know about you. And then you have kind of like the blind self, which is information that you don't know about yourself, but other people do. So other people see in you. So it might be kind of traits or behavioral patterns or whatever it is. And then you kind of have the unknown self, which is neither you or other people know. And until you sit with yourself and study yourself and befriend yourself and get to know yourself, there's certain aspects of these kind of individual selves of you that might cause you some difficulty. So when you think about kind of the unknown self and how much of that is kind of plagued with insecurities, you know, insecurities that you don't even know that you have, or other people that other people don't know you have, and how much of that actually, you know, gets in the way of things that you should be doing, or you want to do, or dreams that you have, or jobs that, you know, you want to apply for. Like, how much of those things, those insecurities in these hidden areas, you know, can you actually say, I'm aware of, or I'm not aware of? Obviously, if it's like in the open self, 9 times out of 10 you probably will know it. But especially, I guess, in the blind self, or the unknown self, or even actually the hidden self, because sometimes you might have insecurities. Maybe you spend time with yourself in solitude and you've realized that you have these insecurities, so you don't want to share that with the world. But it's okay if you don't want to share it with the world, so long as you're working on those insecurities, you know, like, you don't have to announce everything to the world. You just have to make sure that you work on it and you grow from it and you grow through it. But I guess ultimately, the more time you spend with yourself alone and not around other people, which again, I have to highlight, I'm not saying that don't spend time with other people. Of course, we're human beings. Of course, we're like social beings. And it's normal to want to be around other people. But sometimes when you do it too much to the detriment of your own self and to the neglect of your own self, and, you know, other people might become kind of like noise if you're around them all the time. They have their own thing going on, and you're just kind of like always around other people and not really slowing down to really delve deep and look into yourself. There might be so many things that you might be missing about yourself that you need to learn and you need to know. So yeah, basically the message is spend time with yourself. Don't be afraid of solitude, and get to know yourself. You have to be your friend first. You have to be your own friend first. It's so important. And if you do that, you'll be amazed about the things that you learn about yourself, the things that you highlight and work on and can grow from. And hopefully that will help you to kind of be a better version of who you are, who you want to be. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and until the next video, peace out. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I hope you enjoyed the video.